Welcome to the AP Physics information session for Don Bosco Technical Institute. This session is specifically for AP Physics C Mechanics. Seniors at Bosco Tech have the following science options: Anatomy and Physiology, Physics, or AP Physics C Mechanics. You can indicate your official selection of all classes in a course selection survey administered by Mr. Kreinen in April or early May. By all classes, I mean not only your science class, but also your math class, your senior elective, and any other options you have. We call this course AP Physics C Mechanics because the College Board offers 4 different AP Physics tests: AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2, AP Physics C Mechanics, and AP Physics C Electricity and Magnetism. Each of these tests covers a different level of breadth and depth. At Bosco Tech, we only offer AP Physics C Mechanics for 2 related reasons. First, it is the most widely accepted of the 4 AP Physics exams. This means that regardless of which college you go to, there is a high likelihood of them giving you credit for this class. Many colleges have more stringent requirements for their physics courses taken by engineers. AP Physics C Mechanics is calculus-based, so it meets college requirements even for engineers. So what are the requirements for taking the AP Physics C Mechanics class at Bosco Tech? First, some definitions. A prerequisite is a requirement that must be met before you start the class, hence the pre in prerequisite. A co-requisite must be met either before you start or while you are taking the class. So prerequisites have to be met before you start the AP Physics C Mechanics class, whereas co-requisites can be fulfilled before or during the AP Physics C Mechanics class. AP Physics C Mechanics has the prerequisites of having grades of B or higher in your current math and science classes. Another prerequisite is either a calculus class or a 3-week AP Physics prep course during summer school. The AP Physics prep course is an online course with in-person assessment in order to accommodate students with other summer activities. A co-requisite for AP Physics C Mechanics is pre-calculus, although AP Calculus AB is recommended, but not required. A question I'm often asked is, how hard is AP Physics? In general, AP courses are college-level courses that take place in a high school setting. As a result, there is no such thing as an easy AP course. Let me show you an example of how difficult AP Physics C Mechanics is. In the 2013-14 school year, all of the AP Physics C Mechanics students were AP Chemistry students as juniors. This is a bit unusual. There's usually a few students who come from other classes. Nevertheless, given their background, you would expect they would understand the difficulty of an AP Science class. However, even with this experience, the median on the first test was 62%. Another common question is, what's the difference between regular physics and AP Physics C Mechanics? AP Physics C Mechanics goes about 3 times faster than regular physics, so that tells you something about the breadth of the course. AP Physics students must memorize their formulas. I required this on my test because the College Board requires it on their tests. Now, recently, the College Board has started allowing students to use formula sheets on parts of the exam, but this formula sheet is missing a lot of essential formulas, so this gets back to my original point of AP Physics students must memorize most of their formulas. Regular physics students get a much more detailed formula sheet. Finally, the AP Physics test problems are much more difficult. On a physics test, each problem typically uses only one formula. On an AP Physics test, a single problem can require 4 formulas or more, so this requires more complicated reasoning and the ability to put several potentially different topics together. So hopefully now you're ready to make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to apply to AP Physics. If you decide to apply, here's how to do it. First of all, obviously, finish watching this information session. You'll also need to read the description of this YouTube video. Specifically, click the Show More button to see a list of all the deadlines and links that I'm going to describe in the rest of this slide. This PowerPoint is made to last more than 1 year, and the deadlines will shift from year to year, so the deadlines will not be on this slide. They will be in the YouTube video description, which you can see by clicking the Show More button. Apply online using this URL. Download materials from this URL. Specifically, you will need to download 5 files. There's an AP Honors application checklist that will help you keep track of what's due and when it's due. There's an AP Honors exam confidentiality agreement, the AP Honors parent-guardian sign-off form or signature sheet, and an AP Physics practice entrance exam, and an AP Physics practice entrance exam solutions. I distribute solutions so that you can check your work. You then need to take the AP Honors entrance exam. This is a scheduled exam which will take place during lunch, starting at 11:10. You have to have the exam confidentiality agreement printed, read, and signed before entering the exam. If you do not have this ready, you will lose time on the exam. Again, the exact time and date of the entrance exam is in the YouTube video description. It's also on the AP Honors application checklist. Finally, have your parent or guardian fill out the parent-guardian signature sheet so that they understand what you are doing and their responsibilities as your parent or guardian. On the previous slide, I mentioned the AP Physics entrance exam, so let me go into a little bit more detail about the exam itself and how you can prepare for it. As I mentioned on the previous slide, a practice exam and its solutions can be downloaded from this URL. The topics covered on the exam are proportions, both direct proportionality and inverse proportionality. If you forgot about that, check an Algebra 1 book. Other topics in Algebra 1 are absolutely essential, and this includes the quadratic equation and systems of equations. That is, having 2 formulas to solve for 2 variables. Formal logic, this is the type of logic you use to fill out a 2-column proof in geometry. You don't have to know the theorems themselves, but you do need to know the logic of going from one step to the other and how to use information from a previous logical step to solve for the next logical step. There will also be some use of triangles and parallel line theorems. Geometry, specifically area, volume, and parallel lines. No area or volume formulas need to be memorized. These will be provided to you. It is a time test. Time is limited to 45 minutes, and there are 20 problems on the entrance exam. After you apply, a bunch of things happen behind the scenes among the faculty and staff. So let's go over a little bit about what happens after you apply. The first thing that happens is the science department gets additional information. Specifically, what we get are your science and math grades for this year, both the fall and the spring semesters. We also get the cumulative weighted academic tech GPA for each student. And when other information is not as conclusive, we sometimes look at Stanford 10 scores, although these are typically not used. Typically, we can draw a conclusion from this other information. The science department uses this information and decides who is admitted. Due to the small size of the school, only one section of each honors or AP course is allowed. Unqualified applicants will not be admitted even if there is room in the class. Once we've reached our decisions, rosters will be posted in early May. If you're fortunate enough to be accepted, there's a number of things you are expected to know at the very beginning of the AP Physics Mechanics course. So, if I'm accepted, what am I expected to know on day 1? Basic calculus, derivatives, and integrals. This information is part of the online AP Physics Summer Prep session, so if you are not currently in calculus, don't worry, you'll pick up that information over the summer. You will need to be able to flawlessly execute basic Algebra 1 problems. This includes systems of equations. It is very routine in AP Physics to be combining 2, 3, sometimes even 4 equations in a single problem. Most of the solutions are in terms of variables rather than actual numbers, so get used to manipulating variables algebraically rather than plugging in numbers and actually solving for a single number. For example, this is the equation for conservation of momentum. Each variable with each subscript represents a potentially different number. So m1, for example, that's the mass of object 1. m2 is the mass of object 2. v1i is the initial velocity for object 1. v2i is the initial velocity for object 2, and then there are corresponding final velocities for each object. You can rearrange this to solve for the final velocity of the second object by subtracting this term over to the other side and then dividing both terms by m2. This is an exceedingly easy problem by AP Physics standards. Next steps. First of all, see the video description below for forms, websites, and deadlines. Fill out the online AP Honors Science form. URL is given in the video description, as well as right here. Download and fill out 5 forms from this URL. You need the AP Honors checklist, the AP Honors Exam Confidentiality Agreement, and remember this is due at the beginning of the entrance exam, which will be coming up soon. Check the deadlines listed in the video description and also on the checklist. You'll need to download the AP Honors Parent Signature form, the practice entrance exam, and the solutions to the practice entrance exam. Take the entrance exam. Date and time are listed below. And finally, if you have any lingering questions, feel free to email me at this email address.